Going live now. So welcome back to Street Switch Photography. I got a little bit bored, so I thought we'd have a look at the weather. And in today's weather, let's roll the intro. So with current heavy rain in Melton Mowbray, I'm not going to do what the Met Office do and get it wrong. I thought I'd have a look over on the Asfordby flood warning page. Now, we know that we get a lot of floods in Melton and everything else because the rivers haven't been dredged for some time. And when I say some time, I mean like since the early 90s. Now, we do know that they do something called banking, which is moving the silt from the middle of the river to the side. So in retrospect, you'd be building up the banks for it to hold the water. And they're building a lot of new homes on floodplains as well in and around Melton, so they won't be able to get insured at the houses and stuff like this. But particularly in Asfordby, there seems to be a lot of problems with flooding, especially in the valley and places like that. We've still got heavy rain, we've still got the worst of it to come. I'm keeping the eye on it, and I'm going to try and, let's just say, keep it like that. Here's the page that I'm talking about, Asfordby flood warden page, and I thought I'd take a look at this and see exactly what it is that's going on. The last message that was on here: all roads are clear and open. Myself and other flood wardens which work until, please give up an update on this. There's no updates at the moment that I know of, so there isn't any major issues at the moment. But again, we've still got the worst of this to come. The live chat's open. You can come over here and say whatever you want. I'm just going to make sure it is on live chat. 1 second. Yep, that's live, so you can chat there. But I just thought we'd have a look at the actual, at what's actually going on. Now, the last floods we had last year, it was around about this time last year, actually, from what I can remember. We've got one here where the roads are closed. Local residents, that's of Leicestershire and Rutland. 1 second, I'm just going to have a cup of coffee. Now, I know that Holby Road, somewhere over near Asfordby, is actually flooding and stuff like that from a river. You get two types of flooding. You get river bursting its embankments, and you also get surface water flooding, which is basically because the ground is so saturated, it just gathers and gathers and gathers and gets bigger, which is what you get on floodplains and things like that, where we've got all these new homes being built. It's going to be interesting over the next couple of days to see what actually happens overnight tonight. If it does flood down in Asfordby, in the valley, I'd like to get down there with a camera and actually record it. I have got a video on TikTok, which I will upload later, about the floods last year and what actually happened. Now, the council haven't really done a lot about the floods, if I'm honest. I know somebody visited Melton, and that was about it. And they probably implemented somebody to say, oh, look, there's a flood, which is what this is. No sandbags have been put out. There's been a weather warning in place. Nothing's actually been actually done. Absolutely nothing. So I'm sort of thinking, are we going to get some really bad floods again this year? And this is what we're actually waiting for to see what happens. I hope we don't, because it's miserable for people that have to put up with this year after year after year. And I know somebody that lives down in the valley that is getting a little bit sick and tired of this now. They decorate the house and then it goes and floods, and then it just causes, you know, undue stress, I suppose. 1 sec. You can't beat a hot cup of coffee on a day like today and just locking your door, closing your curtains and hiding away from the outside world. I'm not hiding away. But anyway, let's take a look at what it is exactly that's been happening, and I'll have a look at some of the comments. So we've got thank you so much. We're going to click here and we're going to go to all comments. Plus flood wardens really appreciate all the work you do. Yeah, they do, because we need flood wardens. There was a lot of people last year down at the bottom of the hill at Asfordby Valley, at the bottom of the hill there, actually out helping the residents, making sure people were all right, especially the older generation. Now, next week and over the weekend, we have got a cold snap coming, and it's going to be important that you just take the time to just knock on your neighbour's door. If you've got an elderly neighbour that hasn't got any family and things like that, just make sure they're all right, especially with the cost in gas and electric and stuff like that. Get them to put their bloody heaters on and worry about the cost of it later. people die in this sort of weather. Do you know what I mean? And it's not funny. This is because of the state that this country is actually in. And this is one of the reasons that I thought I would do a video. To actually try and, you know, sort of help out a little bit. Now, during the cold snap and everything else and during the floods, there are people with cars that are willing to actually ask people if they need anything from the local shop, if they need anything picking up from town. So if anybody can help, can you go and grab us a pint of milk? I'm joking. But on a serious note, just make sure your neighbours are all right and stuff, because it's so important that people of the communities actually stick together and come together for things like this. We've got a couple of comments that have just come up. Let's have a look. Is it the usual suspects? Nice and wet over here in Wales too. Yeah, apparently Wales, now I don't know whether this is true or not. I don't know whether you can update me on this. Can you tell me, is it Wales that actually gets it worse than the East Midlands? Because on the weather warning, from what I've actually seen, let's have a look. Let's go over to here. Weather warnings. Warnings UK. Let's have a look. I'll have a look at some images. So this is Storm Claudia. Is it Claudia? We didn't name it. They like to make it clear on mainstream media that they didn't name it. Claudia. It's Claudia. It isn't. It's Claudia. I'll bet you a tenner. Right, my partner's saying it's not Claudia. It's not Claudia. It's Claudia.
Say Claudia. You say
Claudia. It's Claudia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Claudia, but the name of the storm is Claudia. No, it is. I'm telling you now. So yeah, if you're getting it worse in Wales, let me know. Here's a picture of what is this today? Is this today's? One sec, I've got to put in the date. 2025. It's all right. My wife's deciding it's pissing herself laughing at me. Here we go. We've got some bits and bobs on here that we can look at. It's nice weather for ducks. That's as far as I've got. Let's have a look at some more comments. Nice and wet over here in Wales. Thank you so much for all you do. Yeah, we'd like to say thank you to the wardens of the Asfordby area and places like that. It is important that we sort of take note that they're actually there and they're making sure that, you know, kids can get home from school, for instance. We didn't know whether there was going to be the buses running for schools. And with this cold snap and with the ground being so sort of saturated and wet, the roads will be wet, it's going to freeze over. It's going to cause some accidents, I guarantee it. But yeah, Horby Road in Asfordby is already flooded. Now, where the new builds are in Asfordby, I've heard that there's a slight problem. There may be some flooding there as well. So if anybody is on their way home from school and anybody's actually watching this channel, leave a comment and let me know if you see any flooding on the way back from where, you know, as you're driving in and out of Melton. Let's work out what roads are actually accessible in Melton. I'm going to just take... I think I've got some here. Yeah, I'm going to have some Sleuth. This is the stuff I'm using to quit vaping. I started on 60 milligram. I'm now down to 10. I think I've done quite well. But yeah, it's been a fairly relaxed day for me personally. You think you heard South Wales is going to get hit hard. Right, I hope you guys all over there in Wales, our brothers and sisters over in Wales are all, you know, sort of safe. Make sure you've got sandbags at your front doors and things like that. We get floods quite bad here in Melton. I don't think it's half as bad as what you get in Wales, though. I mean, some of the drone footage I seen from a couple of years ago and recently as well was absolutely sodding horrendous. But as I said before, this is when communities come together and help each other and remember each other and remember the elderly that need the help. Do you know what I mean? If one person can pop down and grab bits that they need from the shop, make sure that these pensioners and things are putting the heating on to stay warm, stay well, as they liked to say in the past. Nowadays, it's stay warm, have a chuffing great bill to have to pay because of this horrible, disgusting government from Harmer Starmer. Let's go back here. Okay. So I'm going to try and see if I can find some updates or anything like that. But this is specifically for the Melton area. So if anybody knows anything, leave it in the live chat so other people know. Asfordby Flood Warden page hasn't updated anything for 6 hours. There's no new comments that I can see. So in a way, that is good news. But we've still got the worst of this to come. Now, if it is flooding, and I get reports that it is flooding somewhere in the valley or somewhere that I can actually get to, I'll get a lift there or something like that. I will be down there with my camera and I'll record it. I won't record people, I'll record the floods. This needs to be documented because this now happens year after year, and people of the residents of Melton Mowbray should not have to put up with this crap because nothing's being done. Nothing's being done. There's been no local sort of alerts apart from this flood warning page that we have here. That's it. It's these guys that have gone out of their way to put this together themselves. I don't know whether it's the local councillor that's helped with this. I think the local councillor. Who's the local councillor for that? For Asfordby. But he has done more than most people for these floods and stuff. I can't remember his name. Carter. Councillor Carter. He's, I don't know whether he's part of this group, and I don't know if he actually lives in Asfordby himself, but he's the warden, well, he's the councillor for that area, and he may have been him that's to do with this page and everything as well, so shout out to that councillor as well. But look, I mean, the reason, why are we getting all these floods? Now, I know people are going to say, vote fucking Green Party and climate change. No, 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 no. They need to dredge the rivers. It's as simple. I don't know how many people are going to agree with me there, but I think it's because we need to dredge them instead of just banking on these rivers. Now, I'm going to continue to update the page and see if anything pops up. Like I say, so far so good with all the roads being clear on the way back to Asfordby, so I know that the kids will be able to get home from school and everything else safely. Yesterday, a bus broke down right outside the college. Yesterday morning. This bus company, I think they reside down in the valley somewhere, Asfordby Business Park. They not really maintaining their buses very well, are they? If it keeps breaking down. So here on Holby Road, at the corner near the new builds, is starting to pool. Near the new builds. Now, they knew this was going to happen when they started building these houses on floodplains. This is what you're going to get. And they say, oh, well, we'll build a backwash or whatever it is they call it, and some flood defences here and some little drainage parts here, and it never works. It doesn't work. But there you go. So what else have we got here? Thanks, called highways to check as this person's at work. This is John Cousin. Bottom of Mill Lane / way drain out about Bree. Right, okay. So there's 2 replies to that. Let's have a look. You'll have to get out your act. Clear the mud, right. I mean, yeah, last year it was quite horrendous. So if I get any photos as well, I'll go live. If I get any pictures or any what do you call it, any reports of the valley being flooded or anywhere around that sort of area that I can actually get to, if somebody can give us a lift there, and I'll get there and I'll go live. Because again, I think it's important that the local authority actually see this and what's actually happening. But yeah, here's the weather reports 2025. Let's do that. So we've got an amber warning. And again, I think we've still got most of the bad stuff to actually come. So there's an emergency hotline just here at the bottom. If you do get cut off or there's flooding in your area, you can call 01443 425 001 Monday to Friday, 8:30 till 5. And then the out of hours number is the same, just with a minus a 0 and plus a 1 on the end. So these are the amber warnings. I told you it wasn't a weather report, didn't I? I'm not very good at bloody weather reports. I'll never make a good weatherman, I know that much. Let's do another refresh and see if anything's actually come up. Right, what I'll do is I'll keep an eye on this page. I'll check here regularly to make sure there's no more comments and things like that. I'll check to see whether obviously the Asfordby area is going to get flooded. We've got Mill Lane, you've got Pump Lane and all that lot. There's a big river down there and all that lot. I know for a fact at some point we're going to hear that Station Lane is cut off, which will affect the buses into town. Station Lane has flooded every time there's been a lot of rain, and nothing's ever been done about it. I mean, I remember walking. Where was we walking? I think I was going for a game of golf. Yes, I was. I was going for a game of golf with a friend, and you looked over at the fields from where the train track is, and it just looked like massive lakes dotted in and out of the fields and stuff. Now, again, Milton's had its problems with flooding for years, and it just seems to get fobbed off every time by the local authority. They get somebody come in and say, oh yeah, you've had bad floods, we sort of feel for you and all that. And then it's forgotten about until next year. Nothing actually gets bloody done. Nothing gets done. And if anything does get done, we don't get notified about it. I know that it's going to be interesting down Redwood Park. If anybody actually goes down Redwood Park, where the lake bit has been emptied because of these fish that were in there, foreign fish, do a recording for me and send it us, and I'll include it in my next live video. If anybody wants to send me any recordings, send us a recording of any floods that you've got and things like that. Anything at all. Let us know where it is, what time it was, and everything else, so people could be warned not to go that way. So I'm just looking at other amber warnings. So this is difficult because I've got to try and surf the web like this. Right, okay, so if we go like that, more videos. Let's watch a bit of this, see what he says.
Say goodbye to your reading glasses, computer glasses, and even your sunglasses. Introducing the last pair of glasses you'll ever need, featuring revolutionary German optical technology.
Hello, welcome to this week's 10-day trend. It's set to be quite a juicy one. There's a big change in our weather ahead through the next 10 days. We're going to say goodbye to the milder and at times wetter weather we have at the moment, and instead we're going to see something markedly colder, and with that, the risk of some snow for many places too. But let's start off, and first of all I wanted to look at that change in wind direction that's going to lead to the drop in temperature. Here I have the probabilistic...
I had a change in wind direction earlier on when I went to the toilet. Instead of farting, I just shit myself.
meridional trend for the next 2 weeks, getting further into the future as we go towards the right. Now we have previous model runs. The older the model run, the further down towards the bottom, the more recent model runs at the top, and the reds indicate the confidence of a southerly flow. Now, as you probably know, southerly flow means things are going to be on the mild side at this time of year, but...
Lovely. Now I want today's weather warnings. Weekend weather, here we go. The wife's still
this
laughing
weekend
at
we'll
me.
see some big changes. Storm Claudia will be fizzling out, and that will allow things to turn a bit colder. In fact, we start the weekend pretty chilly across much of Scotland. Temperatures well down into single figures, such frost likely in the countryside. Meanwhile, across the south of England, temperatures may well start Saturday in double digits. There'll be a brisk easterly wind, making it feel pretty fresh on some of these North Sea coasts, but the winds won't be as strong on Saturday as they will be on Friday because of Storm Claudia. And it's this weather front which both marks the boundary between the warm and the cold air, and is also providing the heavy rain during Friday. There are weather warnings in place. I'm not going to go through them here. This is the weekend forecast. If you want more details on the current warnings, check our app or our website. But this weather front, as I say, is from Storm Claudia, named by the Spanish Weather Service, bringing them some...
There you go. I knew it was Storm Claudia. I told you it was. I was
very
right.
heavy rain as well over the next day or so. The storm itself kind of milling around to the west of the Bay of Biscay. It doesn't move very far. It continues to weaken as we go through the weekend. What that does allow is the colder air sitting across Scotland to push further south, and the blue colours take hold of the map. So it's going to turn colder for all of us as we go through the weekend. Let's put a little bit of detail on that. If we rewind the clock, that weather front, although not providing torrential rain anymore, still bringing cloud and outbreaks of rain across northern England, parts of Wales and Northern Ireland during Saturday. I say the rain won't be as heavy, but kind of.
So what we know so far basically is we've got the worst of it. I think may have gone by now. It's still raining. It's been raining all day. It's been a pretty miserable day. I was going to go into town today, but I couldn't be bothered. It was just too, one of those days where you basically just want to get a quilt, lay on the sofa, stuff your face full of bloody crap food or junk food and watch films. That's more or less what I've been doing. I've enjoyed it. But let's take a look and refresh the page over on Asfordby Flood Warden's page. There's no more updates as far as I can tell. All roads clear, open. So that's good news. So this has been Street Switch Photography. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Go and hit the notification bell. Give me a big thumbs up or a big thumbs down. I don't mind which. And I'll hopefully not be reporting on any floods. Fingers crossed. Let's just keep our eye on it. If you do hear anything, please don't hesitate to contact me over on my page on Facebook. Photography, it's all about the edit with any videos or anything you've got of any flooding that's been going on in the local areas. I will try and get there. If I can't, I'll play the video on my next live stream. It will be around about 6, maybe 7 o'clock, so watch out for that. Roll the outro.
Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah.